Hello friends, in previous module we have discussed how linear differential equations are formulated and how to classify linear differential equation according to the nature of coefficients present in the differential equation. So let's quick revise. General form of linear differential equation of order n is given as an of x, and it is coefficient of nth derivative of y with respect to x, where y is dependent variable and x is independent variable. Second term is an minus 1 of x, n minus 1th derivative of y with respect to x, plus so on, plus a1x dy by dx plus a0x y equal to f of x. The classification of linear differential equation is done with respect to the nature of coefficients present in the differential equation, that is linear differential equation with constant coefficient and linear differential equation with variable coefficients. We discussed linear differential equation with constant coefficient, and it is given by a general representation phi of d y equal to f of x, where this phi of d is a polynomial in terms of differentiation operator d, where it is known as auxiliary polynomial. And to find general solution of linear differential equation with constant coefficient, there are two important components. First one is complementary function and second one is particular integral. Complementary function is calculated by using the auxiliary equation, that is we take phi of t equal to 0, and particular integral is evaluated from specific f of x defined in the given differential equation. Now let's get back to linear differential equation with constant coefficients in detail. So if we consider, let phi of t into y equal to f of x be the general linear differential equation with constant coefficient. Now with respect to the second factor, that is f of x specified in the differential equation, there are two types of linear differential equation. First one is homogeneous linear differential equation with constant coefficient, and second one non-homogeneous linear differential equation with constant coefficient. So it is classified with respect to nature of f of x. If f of x in the given differential equation is equal to 0, then the general form of linear differential equation reduces to phi of t y equal to 0, and this is known as homogeneous linear differential equation. And second one, if this f of x is non-zero, then general representation of linear differential equation reduces to phi of d into y equal to f of x, and this differential equation is known as non-homogeneous linear differential equation. So for solving homogeneous linear differential equations, the general solution will contain only complementary function, and for solving non-homogeneous differential equation, there are two parts of the general solution. First one is complementary function and second one is particular integral. So here we can note here general solution is y is equal to yc only, and here for non-homogeneous linear differential equation, general solution is yc plus yp. So in both the cases, in homogeneous linear differential equation as well as in non-homogeneous equation, we need to find complementary function, that is yc. So let's check how to identify the complementary function. To find complementary function, that is yc. So what we do, we consider a homogeneous differential equation phi of d y equal to 0. B, a homogeneous linear differential equation with constant coefficients. Then, to find the roots, we consider phi of d is equal to 0, where this is known as auxiliary equation. So since we are having a polynomial in terms of operator d, we can find factors of this polynomial. So suppose phi of d can be written in terms of d minus m1 into d minus m2 up to d minus mn. These are the n linear factors. So this implies d is equal to m1, m2 up to mn are the n roots of auxiliary equation phi of d equal to 0. So while solving problems, what we need to do, we have to consider homogeneous equation, consider auxiliary equation out of it, and just find roots. So you can find roots by any method. We can use synthetic division method, or we can use scientific calculators if degree of auxiliary equation is quadratic or cubic. Okay. So let's generalize how to solve those differential equations. So before going to solve these n roots, we consider linear factors one by one. So homogeneous differential equation will reduce to, therefore, phi of d into y equal to 0 can be written as d minus m1 into d minus m2 up to d minus mn y equal to 0.
So, what is happening with that equation? If we consider phi of d, y equal to 0, those are the linear factors, d minus m1, d minus m2 up to d minus mn y equal to 0. So we operate each factor on y one by one, or we can consider another matrix representation. If we consider this is matrix of transformation operated on variable y to solve this homogeneous system, if we find eigenvalues of this matrix, then eigenvalues of this matrix will be m1, m2, n3 and so on up to mn. So corresponding eigenvectors will be the solution obtained from this. So that will be y1, y2, so on up to yn. Therefore, the required matrix in the vector space y, or the required solution for y, is nothing but linear combination of these solutions c1y1 plus c2y2 plus c3y3 up to cnyn. So that will be the required value for the complementary function while solving this homogeneous differential equation. Now, the question arises how to find values for y1, y2, yn, and it depends completely upon the nature of these roots. Therefore, we consider how to find roots. So we take the auxiliary equation phi of d equal to 0. Now there are mainly two types of roots for any polynomial. First one is if the roots are complex numbers or real numbers. So we take the case number 1. If our roots are real, and second one, roots are complex. If roots are real, this implies your value for the operator will be m1, m2, m3 and so on. This will be a real number. And roots are complex means root of the auxiliary equation will be obtained in terms of conjugate pairs alpha plus or minus I beta, where alpha is the real part and beta is imaginary part. Then in that case, how to find the complementary function? So for that thing, we have to take one general example. If your roots, so this is our case number 1, if roots are real and then the equation will be written in terms of y d minus m y equal to 0. We can rewrite it in differential equation form as if we operate d on this y, it will represent derivative of y with respect to x minus my equal to 0. So for this order 1 degree 1 linear differential equation, value for p is equal to minus m and q is equal to 0. So since p is equal to minus m, this implies required integrating factor will be e raised to integration of p with respect to x, that is minus mx. Therefore, your required general solution will be y into integrating factor, that is e raised to minus mx equal to integration of q into integrating factor plus c. So we can identify y is equal to this c times e raised to minus mx. So this will be the root, or this will be the complementary function for order 1 and degree 1. So we can generalize one thing. If d is equal to m is the required root of auxiliary equation, then our general solution will be exponential function, where, so my bad, if we take this term, if we take this exponential function on right hand side, so y is equal to c e raised to mx. Now let's get back to the generalization. If root of auxiliary equation is d is equal to m, and if this m is a real root, then complementary function will be constant times e raised to that root into x. So this will be the simple observation. Suppose this root is complex, so we go for the next case. So for d minus m y, if this is a quadratic equation and we can consider this m is alpha plus or minus I beta, it is happening if we have a quadratic root. Then we can rewrite the general solution as y is equal to some constant times e raised to alpha plus I beta into x. We take one root at a time. So alpha plus I beta is one root, alpha minus I beta is second root, and we can simplify this. So c times e raised to alpha x into e raised to I times beta x. By using Euler's formula, we can rewrite e raised to I theta as cos theta plus I sin theta. So it can be written as e raised to alpha x as it is. This is c times cos beta x plus I times c into sin beta x. So we can rewrite e raised to alpha x into c1 cos beta x plus c2. c2 is I times c sin beta.